was, the theme for that day was preparing the soil. And our intention for that day was I listen to my body and am in touch with my needs. And what this pretty much means is realizing what you need in your life and giving it to yourself, nourishing your soil, preparing your soil. What our Regi said that really, really impacted me that day was a cactus cannot flourish in the rainforest. And I really thought about that, because a cactus cannot flourish in the rainforest at all. And I thought about how a cactus needs to be in the desert. It can't get watered every 5 seconds. It needs to be in its right environment. Well, hi, my name is Martina Ciacci. I'm one of the Youth of Unity here at UCOH, and I've been going to this church for around 11 years, and I'm going into my junior year of high school. And for the last 2 years, I've had the honor of going to our yearly legacy rally, and I'll be talking a little bit about that rally today. Just to start, what is rally? A little bit. It's when all the Youth of Unity from our region meet together in one place and we learn a lesson together. And it's really quite beautiful over the whole event. And I see some of the photos, I think they're really cute. We had a few people come with the UCOH chapter. So we had our 2 sponsors, Sydney and Joe, who Joe gave the prayer, if you don't know who Joe is, but Joe's pretty cool. Elise, who's an incoming 8th grader who was just up here with me, and then myself, and then we had the pleasure of adopting a member of the Fort Worth chapter to come with us to Y.O.U. And that kid's name was Nathaniel. He just graduated high school and is going into the military, and it was just such a pleasure to have him with us on our Unity journey, and he really became a part of our UCOH family by the end of the experience. So there are a few roles in rally. So there are senior sponsors who run the whole rally, spend all year doing that, and they're adults. And then there are Regis, who are student leaders who run the whole rally for the whole year, plan it all year long, and then run it the week of. And we had 3 senior sponsors this year and 3 Regis, and it was really great to get to know them all very well. We also have our own sponsors, which are just so cool. Love y'all. We have members who go, so I was a member this year, but I also got the honor of being a family leader this year. So at Rally, we have family groups, and in those groups, it's around 10 people, and there's 1 or 2 leaders, so I got to lead with a really good friend of mine, Michael, and we ran this group for a while, and why this is important is because every single day we spent anywhere from 3 to 5 hours inside these family groups. And so I really got to learn a lot from the people who were in my family and also from being a family leader, and I'm really grateful for that. So, moving into the start of Rally, it's scary. Like, I was like, oh God, guys, what am I doing here? Because it's weird to show up to a place and be like, I don't know anyone here, and this is weird, and I'm in a state, and that isn't my state, and I'm just here, and it's so I was just so anxious going in, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna make friends. And I had some friends from the year previous, so I was like, oh, I have friends that I can sport on, but I wanna make friends with all the new people so that they can have friends, and so I can have more friends, because I want all the friends. And so some things that we did over Rally, the first day we did a bunch of bonding games. And pretty much what those games were is like, hi, this is my name, these are my preferred pronouns, it's really nice to meet you, and here's a random fun fact about me, like, my favorite color is green because I'm cool like that. And we would go through that and ask a million different questions, and it was a really beautiful way to get to know each and every single person at this rally, which there were around 60 people there this year. And then that moves into our first day, which was deadheading. So, I will explain this. The overall theme of the rally was the faces, but every single day had its own little theme to build together for our complete theme. And so and in this theme, we are the plants. We are the plants growing into blooming. And our first day was deadheading. And what that means is removing the weeds out of your life. So our intention for that day was, I let go with gratitude. And throughout the whole day, we learned how to acknowledge the weeds in our life. And weeds in your life could be something as little as a shirt that you don't want in your closet anymore, or as big as a person who's causing you pain. And removing that from your life can bring you so much support for the future. And so we learned to acknowledge what were the things that we need to remove out of our lives. What are the weeds that are holding us back from growing and flourishing? And then we acknowledged them in family group. We talked about them, and we talked in depth about them, and then we journaled about them, and then we talked together how we could remove these weeds in our lives. And I thought that that was really beautiful for people to be open enough on the first day to be like, this is something that's causing me pain that I need to remove from my life. And that was a really great way to end the first day, by just being like, this is how I can improve, and this is what I can do to improve it. And then that leads into our second day, which was, the theme for that day was preparing the soil. And our intention for that day was, I listen to my body, I'm in touch with my needs. And what this pretty much means is realizing what you need in your life and giving it to yourself, nourishing your soil, preparing your soil. And our Regis, each Regi each day has a talk, which is a truth talk for them. They speak their truth, and they tell everyone there, so every single person heard it. And it's very, I like to say Vegas rules. And what our Regi said that really, really impacted me that day was, a cactus cannot flourish in the rainforest. And I really thought about that, because a cactus cannot flourish in the rainforest at all. And I thought about how a cactus needs to be in the desert. It can't get watered every 5 seconds. It needs to be in its right environment. And I thought about, there have been so many times in my life, and I think in y'all's lives, where you feel like, I'm just in the wrong environment. I need to change things up. I need to learn what's good for myself and treat myself for that. And that day, we did a very beautiful ceremony called spirit sharing, which is kind of like a talent show, but it's not. I wouldn't describe it as that. So what spirit sharing is you go up and you share your spirit. And you can share your spirit a million different ways. Like my first year at Raleigh, I played the piano. People told dad jokes, people danced, people sings, people played their trumpets. Go back. And then you also have the option not to share. So this year, I did not share. And I just enjoyed watching everyone else show their truth and be able to share that with me and then everyone else there, even though we're still a little bit strangers. Like, you know everyone's name, but do you really know everyone's name? We're still at that point. And it was just really beautiful to watch people be like, this is me, this is who I am, and I want to share that with you. And it's quite beautiful. And that same night, I had a conversation with my roommate. And my roommate that year, we were in little dorm rooms, so we were close together. And my roommate that year, her name is Lucia, and she's an incoming ninth grader. She was an 8th grader from the San Antonio chapter, so San Antonio, Unity of San Antonio. And her and I just talked until like 3 a.m. about like how grateful we were to be at this place, even though it still felt weird and felt kind of iffy. And going through that conversation with someone who was their first year being there, who's like, whoa, what is Y.O.U., what is Raleigh? And it just really, I was there, like I was present, I was there, but I went from being there to really being there. I was there. I was me. I was part of it. And she really helped me grow, and I know for a fact that that girl is going to be one of my lifelong friends forever, because she is just so amazing. I'm going to move on to the third day, which was planting the seed. And the intention for that day was that I set my intentions one step at a time. Now, what planting the seed is, to be able to grow, you have to plant that seed in your life. You have to bloom into a beautiful flower, you have to plant your seed. You can't be anything if you don't have a seed. And that is a step in reality. It's taking a step to be able to plant your seed. And something that one of our Y.O.U.ers here told me when I was talking about this was, don't be afraid to keep planting seeds, because not every seed will sprout. But if you keep planting seeds, soon enough, you'll have a forest. And that was really meaningful to me, because it's true. Like, you can't just take one step and like, boom, I'm done. You gotta take step, 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 right? To move forward and to grow into this beautiful flower. And That same night, we had this ceremony called do-ups, and these are dances of universal peace. So this is an extremely vulnerable and personal experience where everyone at the rally gets together in a circle, or not in a circle, and they dance, sing, and remain eye contact. Now, what that means is, so you're dancing all together and you're singing all together, which can be really scary for some people. Singing publicly is scary. I just did it. Dancing publicly is scary. And remaining eye contact, this was the most powerful, vulnerable, most sharing part. A lot of dances we did were one-on-one. So you would face one person for anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute, and you would dance with them and remain eye contact the whole time. And then you'd move on to the next person. You do that with every single member there. And it was quite beautiful because eye contact is hard. And being able to look someone in the eye and be like, I trust you enough to show this vulnerability to you, and then to receive it back and show their vulnerability to me was such a powerful experience to be like, this is a trusting, safe environment where I'm able to be myself. And then we move into our fourth day, and the theme for that day was watering the plants. And the intention for that day was, I nourish myself during all phases of change, growth, and rest. And what this means is you can't just plant the seed. You have to water yourself, because you're the plant, right? You have to consistently nourish yourself and be able to move forward, because you can't just water a plant once and then boom, it'll survive for years. That's not how most plants work. It's not how humans work. You have to treat yourself over and over again, consistently, and that is so powerful. And on this day, we had multiple very, very sacred ceremonies. So our first sacred ceremony was the heart talk. And what the heart talk is you are in your family groups, and there's a heart pillow in the middle. And during this talk, it's very, very sacred. It's very Vegas rules. What happens here stays here. The only person who's allowed to do anything is the person talking. So someone grabs it from the middle and speaks from their heart. And that from their heart could be something happy, something sad, something scary. And they just speak their truth from their heart, what's on their heart at that moment. And you go around the circle to the left, and you go around until no one has anything to say. And if it gives you any idea of how long this takes, my first year, my group did it for 5 hours straight. And then my second year, we did it for 3 hours straight, but we had to stop. Like, we physically had to stop. We would have gone on for like hours more, not gonna lie. And it's really a beautiful way to be truthful with yourself and be truthful in an environment where you know that you're loved and cared for. And I see these kids who came in on the first day who are like, I don't want to be here. Be them true selves and be like, I'm really grateful for this experience. And it was quite beautiful. And then later in the day, we moved on to our graduation ceremony, which we had 8 graduating seniors this year, all my besties. But they all graduated, and a lot of them said that it was way more personal than their actual high school graduation, because their sponsor came up. And sponsors are the youth group leaders, the adults leaders, and some of these sponsors had known these kids since they were literally 0. And they would just be like, I'm so proud of this individual, I'm so grateful for them, and I genuinely hope that they know that this place is always home, and I hope that they will always come back to visit. And it was really beautiful, and I was sobbing the whole time because, guys. But it was beautiful to watch like such a personal graduation ceremony be like, you have graduated from the Youth of Unity. Congratulations. We love you, and we hope you will come back to visit. And then we moved into our most sacred ceremony of all, which is called the angel wash. And what the angel wash is there are 2 lines of candles, and there are people on the outside of those lines facing in, and then one person goes down the line with their arms crossed and their eyes closed, and they are guided by other people with their hands or with hugs. And what they do is they grab onto them and they say words of affirmation, words of love. And angel wash generally takes around 5 hours, if it gives you an idea for how long it takes. And at the very beginning of the angel wash, I started bawling my eyes out, like completely all over the place, and because it was just so beautiful. I hadn't even talked to the first person yet. I was just like, guys. And it was just so beautiful because it's such a unique experience. Because in this world, it feels weird to give people compliments. Like, I can't be like, Eva, your earrings are literally so cute, like all the time, always. They're really cute right now. And Eva's been one of my closest and dearest friends for the last 10, 11, 12 years, forever. And I feel awkward saying that to her in other scenarios. And it's just like, this was a perfect opportunity to show your vulnerability towards how you feel about the person, and then them to do the same to you. And yeah. And then that night, after the angel wash, which literally ended at like 1 a.m., we had our final goodnights, and we did a little meditation and just relaxed, and then went to bed because this was our final night there at Rally. And then we go into our 5th and final day, which was blooming. And the intention for that day was, I appreciate all I've learned and connections I've made that help me bloom and shine. And this means using the resources and lessons that we took away from this whole experience of Rally and being able to be our true selves with passion, and being grateful for yourself and be grateful for the experience you just had. And we had our final family group and stuff like that, and I got to talk to my family and be like, it is gonna be so weird going back to normal civilization from here, because it's just such a bubble. It's such a beautiful bubble of love and care, and just so beautiful. And we talked about that for like a solid 30 minutes because it was weird, guys. When I came back, I was like, oh, I'm here. And then we finished it out with a closing slideshow that one of our senior sponsors literally spent all night making because her system crashed the night before, and she was like, no. And she really worked hard on that, and we were all so grateful. And it was really beautiful to watch us each individually grow throughout the 5-day experience, from someone like, I was like, oh, I'm here, to I'm here, you know? And it was beautiful. And we had our closing ceremony, so we had our closing prayer, closing meditation, and then we blessed everyone. So remember what we did? Like, I love you, really, really love you, what? Remember? We did that with every single one person there at Rally. So we blessed all the senior sponsors, we blessed all the Regis, we blessed all the family leaders, we blessed all the sponsors, we blessed everyone. And then it's just such a beautiful way to end out the ceremony by just being like, I'm so grateful for every single person in this circle, and I know that they're grateful for me, for their presence. I'm grateful for their presence in my life, and I know they're grateful for my presence in their life. And I know that they'll always remember me. And then we closed it out with final fuzzies, which I kind of had to get dragged away from by my sponsors, but it's fine. And what fuzzies are, because we did not explain that. This is really important. Fuzzies are come up, Eva. Fuzzies are a ceremony where you lift your left hand, you hug, you breathe in and out, and in and out, and in and out, and then squeeze. And we did that like 20 times throughout the whole thing. We had good morning fuzzies, we had good night fuzzies, those were more funny. But then we had our final fuzzies, and then we had a few gruzzies, which are group fuzzies, which are so much fun, by the way. It was such an enlightening experience, and then I literally had to get dragged away because I didn't want to leave, but it's okay. Like, we had a fun ride home. And then I'd like to end off my whole spiel by thanking the congregation, because without y'all, this couldn't have been possible, because those tacos, they mean something. And your donations, they really help the Y.O.U. to do such amazing things like go to Rally and just experience each other and be grateful for one another. And we couldn't have done it without y'all. And then also, I'd like to mention that at this Rally, all these kids were severely affected by COVID. Like, I was in 6th grade when COVID started, and that was terrible. And that really, really affected me a lot when I was younger. And at this Rally, there were kids from 4th grade to 8th grade when COVID started. And that's a big age range, but those are some of the most important years to be there, to be in school, be connected with people around you. And then that was all taken away from us, in what felt like a blink of the eye. And like, one day I'm in 6th grade, I'm like, I hate school. And then 2 years later, I'm back in school. I'm like, I miss school so much. Oh my God. I never want to go home again. But it was really hard. So having this experience where you were able to connect with other people from all over the country who had experienced the same thing as you, but like in a different font, and just be like, it's really nice to know you. Like, it's really great to know you, and get some of that connection that we lost throughout those 2 years of our childhoods. And just thank you so much for letting me speak here today, and thank you so much for everything each and every one of y'all do. Thank you.
Okay, I'll be more boring than they are. Last week, I acknowledged that we are experiencing a shortfall here, but what I know is there's no shortfall in spirit, that we are filled with an abundance all around us, because there is only God. I also know that we walk one another home, that each one of us can contribute to the vibrancy of this community. And we can do that in many ways. I'm not going to go through all of them, but there are some suggestions are up on the screen. What I want to let you know is that each and every one of you makes a difference. Whether you're taking a moment to really connect with someone in this ministry, or whether you're participating in sacred service, or whether you're giving financially, all of it helps make Unity Church of the Hills what it is. Together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I circulate, and I am grateful.